Hello and welcome back to our online Healthy Helpings programme. I would like to start with a quick recap of what we looked at in session 1. We provided an overview of what Healthy Helpings is all about, and we discussed the importance of steady weight loss. We also looked at different factors that can influence our weight and ways to keep track of what we're doing. As we mentioned last week, using a food, drink and activity diary is very useful to give you a better understanding of your own habits and patterns, therefore helping you to identify possible food, drink and activity goals. Research has shown that simply writing down what you eat, drink or do can improve your chances of losing weight. In session 1, we suggested keeping a record for 5 days. How did you find this? Were there any surprises in your eating habits and patterns? Did you have enough physical activity over the 5 days? While writing it down, did you take more notice of what you were eating and drinking? Now is a good time to press pause on this video and think about your experience.
In our session today, you'll be introduced to healthy eating. We'll talk about the importance of an adequate fluid intake and the benefits of physical activity. We'll then finish our session with goal setting. I'd like to introduce you now to the Eat Well guide. This gives a rough guide to show the amounts of each food group that should be eaten, but it doesn't give you strict portion sizes. Instead, it encourages a variety to allow a healthy, balanced diet. Eating a variety of different foods from each of the groups helps us to get the wide range of nutrients we need for our bodies to stay healthy. As you can see, the fruits, vegetables and potatoes, bread, rice, pasta and other starchy carbohydrates food groups are the biggest segments on the plate, since they're the two main food groups. Whereas beans, pulses, fish, eggs, meat and other proteins and dairy and alternatives food groups have been given much smaller proportions. This is because although they're very important in our daily diet, they don't need to be eaten in as large quantities as the first two groups. You can see that the smallest portion on the plate is given to oils and spreads, and they should only be taken in very small amounts. Foods which are high in sugars and fats, including chocolate, cakes, biscuits, full sugar soft drinks, butter and ice cream, are not needed in the diet, and so, if included, should be eaten less often and in small amounts. We'll be looking at each of these food groups within the Healthy Helpings programme, as well as fluids and food labels, which you can also see highlighted on the guide. Why is it important to drink enough? Fluid is essential for life, and if you don't drink enough, you may become dehydrated and your body will not have enough fluid to function properly. Signs to look out for are headaches, becoming constipated, becoming tired and confused and sometimes nauseous. You're also at risk of having a fall if you're not taking in enough fluids. The colour of your urine can be an indicator to tell you if you're drinking enough. If it's colourless or light or pale straw coloured, then that's a good indicator that you're well hydrated. If your urine is dark yellow or amber in colour, it's a sign that your body needs more water. There are times when your body needs more fluid, such as if you're taking part in any physical activity, when you will have increased fluid losses, or if you're increasing the fibre content of your diet. It's really important to drink more, otherwise you can become constipated. The Eat Well guide recommends 6 to 8 glasses of fluid a day. So, are you drinking enough? If we look at other measures for the recommended 6 to 8 glasses, it could be 2 to 3 pint glasses, 3 to 4 500ml bottles of water, 5 to 7 mugs, there's about half a pint or 300ml per mug, or 8 to 10 cups, which is approximately 200ml or a third of a pint per cup. Pause the video and have a look back at your food and activity record to see if you're drinking enough. There's a wide range of fluids to choose from, but your choice can have a big effect on your weight, so be careful what you choose. It's best to choose the lower calorie and reduced sugar options. Plain tap water is a great choice because it's readily available and free. Some of the flavoured waters that you can buy may have sugar added to them, so take time to read that label. Well diluted, no added sugar diluting juice is another option. Teas or coffees are also a good choice as long as they're made from water and sugar is kept to a minimum, or better still, none at all. Remember that any added sugar can lead to increased calorie intake, especially if you're drinking several cups a day. If you're drinking multiple cups of tea and coffee containing caffeine, one after the other, you may pee out more than you take in, so consider spacing them out through the day and try having a glass of water in between. So let's have a look now at the calorie content of some drinks. If we firstly take a 330ml glass of water which has no calories, an equivalent volume of pure fruit juice contains 150 calories, a can of fizzy pop can contain 100 to 150 calories, and a 330ml serving of a latte made with full fat milk contains 180 calories. As we've already said, we also need to check the sugar content, which is especially important if you have diabetes and need to control your blood sugar levels. So let's look at the sugar content of these drinks as shown with sugar lumps. The 330ml of fruit juice will have an equivalent of 8 sugar lumps, or 33 grams of sugar. We actually don't recommend more than 150ml of fruit juice at one time and only having one serving per day. Fizzy drinks are equivalent to 9 sugar lumps, about 35 grams of sugar, but it's worth noticing that manufacturers are now reformulating their recipes, and you'll find some brands containing a combination of sugar and sweeteners, so overall having a lower sugar content. Lattes have an equivalent of 3 sugar lumps, or 13 grams of sugar, and swapping the full fat milk with semi-skimmed or skimmed milk in lattes, or looking for diet or reduced sugar drinks, will reduce your energy intake. These small changes can make a big difference. I'd now like to highlight this information, which you can find in your support material, as it reinforces the information we've just given. Please remember that calorie contents given are a guide only. You may be consuming a lot of calories through your drinks, so to get more accurate information, start checking your drink labels. We'll be exploring label reading further in session 9. It's also worth looking at this video clip, What is the single best drink for your health?, which you'll find in your support material. It shows why drink choices are so important.
In addition to a healthier diet, regular physical activity is an important part of your weight loss journey. Being more active will not only help you burn extra calories, but it will keep you motivated and improve your general health and well-being. As well as thinking about how you can be more active, why not consider how you can be less inactive? If you think back to your activity record, were you physically active every day? If you were inactive, why was this, and what stopped you from being more active? Sitting or not moving for large parts of the day has been shown to put your health at risk, regardless of other risk factors. Now have a think about how you could be more active. Let's look at websites where you can find more information on physical activity. Sports Aberdeen provides information on what activities are available in Aberdeen City, and also information and video clips on activities you can do yourself, even in your own home. Live Life Aberdeenshire provides information on activities available in Aberdeenshire, and also has useful information and video clips on self-management, including home exercises. If you live in Moray, have a look at Sports Moray website to see what information is available for you. We are now moving on to goal setting. You might think, why bother? Well, we know that it helps us make changes because without goals, you can lack direction and focus. It is best to write down your goals rather than just having a vague idea of what you're going to do. It is important to set goals every week, but not too many. We would recommend no more than 3 goals per week. However, at the start, I would suggest having no more than one goal, and then the following week, have a really hard think about how you got on. Within the following sessions of the programme, you will have an opportunity to look back at your goals, giving yourself a chance to think about how you are getting on and if there are any changes needed. Remember, there may be situations out with your control that prevent you from achieving your goals, such as adverse weather conditions, but these will pass and you can get back on track, so don't use this as an excuse to give up. When setting a goal, think small changes. In fact, small changes that you may not even notice too much day to day, but if regular enough, can bring a big difference in the long run. For example, this might be changing from full-fat milk to semi-skimmed or skimmed milk, or sharing your fancy piece with a family member, partner or friend, rather than eating the whole thing yourself. It needs to be doable. For example, saying you're going to walk 10 miles every day is not realistic when you rarely leave the house. Or another example, if you particularly enjoy eating crisps, it's unlikely that you can stop eating them forever. Sometimes it's better to decide to take things gradually. For instance, gradually increasing your walking or gradually cutting down your intake of crisps. Another idea is to think about a healthier replacement. Rather than stopping yourself from eating or drinking particular foods or drinks altogether, for example, having chopped up fruit instead of a biscuit, or perhaps replacing a milky coffee with one made from water. If the changes you decide on are doable and realistic, then it's much more likely that you'll be able to keep them up long term. By achieving these small goals, you will get a sense of achievement and feel motivated to continue. Remember to take things one step at a time. Some changes will be harder to make than others and take a longer time to achieve. It is known that it can take an average of 12 weeks for a change to become a habit. And this is something you do without having to think about it. Remember, there will be times when you end up eating or drinking something that you feel you shouldn't have. This might make you feel like you failed and might make you feel like giving up. However, it's important to know that this is just what happens. Don't think too much about it. Move on and get back on track as soon as you can. Don't give up. Let us now look at how we plan a clear goal. We need to think about the following. What is it we're aiming to do? This may be a short-term goal that you expect to reach within the coming weeks, but it is a stepping stone to your longer-term goal. How do we plan to do it? This is when we start to think about the detail of what we are aiming to do, so that we have a very clear goal in mind. Who or what can help us reach our goal? It might be that we identify someone as being able to help us reach our goal. For example, asking someone to go out on a walk with us. Or it might be something that helps. For example, using a step counter. How and when will we reward ourselves? We need to get a reward for all the effort we've made, but the reward shouldn't involve food or drink and doesn't necessarily have to cost much money. These are the questions we need to ask when planning and writing a goal. Now, let's have a go at writing a goal. You can open the Session 2 activity book and scroll down to the Goal Planner section, where you can add your plan. You may have the option on your device to download and type into your goal planner directly, or you could print it out and handwrite on it. So, for example, what do you want to do? I want to eat more vegetables. How do I plan to do it? What is my clear goal? I will eat vegetables with my evening meal 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Who or what can help me? I will write a note and attach it to the fridge door to remind me. I will add vegetables to the shopping list every week. What might get in my way, and what will I do about it? I might run out of vegetables, so I will buy some frozen vegetables to keep in the freezer. How and when will I reward myself? If I eat vegetables with my evening meal 3 times a week, I will watch a movie of my choice on Sunday evening.
Well, that's us nearly coming to the end of our session, so let's have a quick recap of the areas we've covered. We began by reflecting on keeping a food and activity record, and then went on to discuss the importance of fluids in the diet and looked at how your choices may impact your weight. We looked at activity and finished off with looking at the importance of goal setting and how to set goals. It's now a good time to pause the video and write in the Goal Planner section of Session 2's activity book your goal for the coming week. Remember to think about the topics we discussed today and also using your food and activity record in helping you think what you want to do. It's also worth looking at the Goal Planner example we went through today, which is shown in your activity book for helping you think what to write down.
Lastly, our top tip for today. Small changes can make a big difference. Even if we are only eating or drinking slightly less than usual, but we are doing this regularly, it can lead to weight loss. But equally, eating or drinking slightly too much than we need on a regular basis can lead to weight gain. For example, an extra 150 calories a day over the next month can add an extra 4,500 calories. This could mean a weight gain of 1 pound or half a kilogram a month. If this continued for a year, you could gain an extra 12 pounds or 6 kilograms. 150 calories could be 2 digestives, a can of fizzy juice, or a takeaway latte. So you can see that these small changes can make a big difference over time. Well, that brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you found the information helpful and will join us for our next session, which looks at healthy eating in more detail. Goodbye.